Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. So let us continue with the endocrine system. So we will consider the next gland, that is the pineal gland. Okay, so we have already come across this particular gland, that is pineal gland, when we have discussed the brain of the CNS. So actual meaning of this particular term pineal, okay, is the pine cone shape. That is because of the shape of this particular gland. As you can see, this is the location of the pineal gland. Okay, so we have seen that this particular gland is actually the part of the epithalamus, right? Okay, so this gland is located in the roof. It is attached to the roof of the third ventricle of the brain. Okay, so it is positioned in between the two superior colliculi. This particular gland, it is actually the part of epithalamus. So as we can see that the mass of the gland is very small, that is just 0.1 to 0.2 gram, that is, it weighs just 100 to 200 milligrams, and it is covered by a capsule which is formed by the pia mater. If you can remember the protective layers, the innermost layer, that is the pia mater, right? There are three protective meninges, the dura mater, the arachnoid mater and the pia mater, which is the innermost layer. So that forms the outer capsule of this particular gland, and it consists of masses of neuroglia. Okay, that is, supporting tissues will be present, and certain secretory cells are present within this gland, and these secretory cells are known as pinealocytes. So it is actually these cells which secrete a hormone called as melatonin. It is actually an amine hormone which is derived from the serotonin. So this particular hormone appears to contribute towards the setting up of body's biological clock. Okay, that means the rhythmic processes which takes place, which is responsible for setting up the biological clock. That is, you wake up at a particular time, you are awake during daytime, you sleep only during night time, right? Okay, so this biological clock is said to be set by this particular hormone. Okay, so actually this hormone helps in setting up of this biological clock, which is mainly maintained by the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus. So as we have seen, hypothalamus, it comprises of a number of nuclei, right? One of which is the suprachiasmatic nucleus. So this is responsible, which is located over here, it is actually responsible for setting up of this biological clock, which is aided by the melatonin. Okay, so usually this hormone, it is liberated during darkness. Okay, more of it is released during the darkness. So this hormone is thought to promote the sleepiness, as more amount is secreted at night. So what makes the release of this particular hormone, especially during night time? What gives it the signal? So it is the visual inputs from the eyes, that is the retina. Okay, so as the surroundings become darker, your eyes, it will sense it, and it will send the visual input of the darkness to the suprachiasmatic nucleus. So this nucleus in turn will stimulate the sympathetic postganglionic neurons in the superior cervical ganglia. So it will carry the signal, this particular nucleus, it will send the signal towards the periphery through the sympathetic system. So the postganglionic neuron means what? The neuron which is originating from the cervical ganglion. So this neuron in turn will stimulate the pinealocytes. So what pinealocytes produce? Yes, they secrete the hormone melatonin. So this is how the stimulus for the release of melatonin is sent by the suprachiasmatic nucleus in response to the visual inputs of darkness in the surrounding. So, in the rhythmic pattern, so in a specific pattern this stimulation is sent, that is only low levels are secreted of this particular hormone during daytime, because the visual input is what? That it is not dark. Okay. So, accordingly the levels of hormones will be low, whereas high levels will be secreted at night because visual inputs to this suprachiasmatic nucleus send the signals about the darkness. So, as a result of this the level of hormone will increase. Okay. So, during sleep this level of this hormone, it is almost 10 folds than during the daytime. Okay. So, since it is thought to promote the sleepiness, small doses of this hormone can also be given to certain individuals to induce sleep or to reset the rhythm. Say for example, in case of the workers who work in shifts, so they have to work in shifts, right? They have to remain awake at night during night shifts. Okay. Or someone who has travelled from one continent to another, over there the biological clock, it changes, right? Because the time changes when you move from one continent to another. So, to set this rhythm, to reset this rhythm or to induce sleep, melatonin can be utilized. Apart from that, melatonin also has a potent antioxidant property. So, it can protect against the free radicals, against the damaging effect of the free radicals. Now, in the animals, this particular hormone, it inhibits the reproductive functions. Okay, so, during the specific seasons, it inhibits the reproductive functions in certain animals, but such kind of influence on the human reproductive function, that is not very much clear. Still studies are going on in this particular direction. Okay. And melatonin levels, these are higher in children, that is in smaller age, and as the age progresses the level of melatonin goes on declining. Okay. Maybe that is the reason why the small children, they sleep a lot as compared to the adults. Okay. But as such the role of this particular hormone in the onset of puberty or sexual maturation is not very much clear. Okay. But since this hormone, it causes the atrophy, that is a wasting out of the gonads. Okay. In several animal species it is shown that the gonads which produce the gametes, they are damaged, okay, or they undergo the atrophy. So, there could be possible adverse effects on the human reproduction as well. Okay. So, before introducing this particular hormone to merely induce the sleep, it needs to be properly studied, otherwise it may have the adverse effects on the human reproduction. Okay. So, such use of this hormone is not very much advisable. Okay. So, this is to do with the hormone melatonin produced by the pineal gland. This is the reference. Thank you for watching.